fetch me a crocodile sandwich and make it snappy.
Exactly. What kind of bread would you have?
I will probably have... that's a good one. Isn't
Like
it?
something from Greg's?
No, I think I'd probably want a flatbread.
Oh,
probably want to, yeah.
Something from the Fertile Crescent.
Yeah, just like because you just want to wrap.
Yeah,
you just want to wrap the. You would just want to wrap the crocodile.
I was just
and let that sing. Really,
yeah,
you don't want the bread to be the main course, as it were.
Totally with you. Yeah, I was just watching a video. I think just yesterday of YouTube. Anyway, it was. Have you heard of that? And it was these definitely Fertile Crescent people, and they were they'd burned a fire and then. Let the embers go right down and then put a flatbread directly on the ash and then covered it in ash and cooked it in that, and then they ate it. They basically just sort of peeled off that layer and then ate the bread. Yeah, we could try that. And you'd have to hunt the crocodile.
Oh, yeah. I also watched a video on YouTube.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember where it was. Of a flatbread that was so it was kind of rolled out into a circle, and then a template was put on top of it that kind of it was like scalloped edges that kind of they sort of pushed in bits of the dough, so the dough had like scallops, and then they had like little round things that they pressed in, and then they had like poppy seeds and sesame seeds, and then and this was the bit that was really exciting, they stuck it to the roof.
Wait, they stuck the bread to the roof?
They stuck the bread to the roof of the oven, and it cooked on. It like just adhered, and then they'd scoop it. Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Wait. So what kind of oven? Like a clay oven, or
well, no, it was like a brick domed oven. It was huge,
and they put it to the top
stuck
of it.
all of these breads just like plop, 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 and stuck them on like limpets, and then scooped them off. Oh, Simon Kennedy Ellis.
Wow, you should send me that video.
I will try to find it because I was just browsing, as it were.
Speaking of sesame, I recently bought a book by an American cook called Nicole Rucker.
Oh, not someone I'm familiar with, Nicole
Rucker, who's famous in America for pies. And her book is called, wait for it, Fat Plus Flour, or Fat and Flour. And which I think is a good start. That is fat and flour. And anyway, yesterday I made a pie, a crumble pie. And what was interesting about it was I don't get to make sort of pastry doughs very often. I'm not very experienced with them, and Lil was guiding me beautifully. And but it has tahini and sesame in it through the apple. And we were super excited, I have to say. But wow, it was gut-wrenchingly sweet. And
too much.
I suspect the whole book will be like that, just because my taste is not that taste.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it, that...
It was very interesting, by the way. Just the flavours were quite amazing. But, yeah, anyway, sorry.
You do sometimes have to modify recipes. There was a...
I'm just not... I don't have the... I could do it with that with bread, but not with those kinds of things. I would go, what if I take out the sugar from that? Won't the moisture levels all be screwed up? Or?
It's not like that, no. So... yeah, that's really interesting. It's not that kind of baking. The butter and flour baking is not as it's not as chemical as a bread making, because you're not relying on rising in the same sort of a way.
Of course.
And when you are, so I have stopped.
But moisture content matters though in a pie.
Yeah, but you know that. Yeah, but pie less so. Cake, you still need moisture content. Pie, it's about, okay, so I don't use a recipe for cakes anymore. I just look at what's in the cupboard and then go, okay, those flavours will work together. Yeah. And then I just mix things together and stick my finger in and taste it and go, is that sweet enough? Yeah, it's sweet enough. Or no, not quite. And you just add tiny little bits, because the amount of sugar that is expected in most cake recipes is so horrendously high.
You should be on Bake Off. If you're at that kind of level, you'd
no.
Could you talk
It's-
while
it's-
you're doing it? Because I think that's one of the key things to be on.
I could talk while I do it, but I'm just also I don't think I could, because what people on Bake Off have to do is they've got to make a particular type of something. I'm making a cake that is serviceable and can be eaten, but it doesn't necessarily have a name.
Serviceable doesn't sound like Bake Off winner, does it?
No, exactly. But I'm making it for me and Bob, and it's like, we'd like something a little bit sweet for after dinner, or quite often I like to have a cake on the go for breakfast when we're both rushing out of the door.
Of course. Best time.
So I'll
best
use-
time for cake.
yeah.
It's the Italian. That's I always think of it as a European thing. German,
Yeah.
Italians. It's cake.
Yeah, Portuguese, everybody's
Cooking?
sensible enough to have. Yeah, everybody's a good idea to have a cake.
Yeah. So yeah, it was whoa, it was that kind of sweetness we go, whoa, it's intense, but yeah, very interesting flavour. Although it was sort of swimming in its liquid, which something. Anyway, it was a very, very good idea, and I loved doing it. But yeah, I would class it not as a failure, but definitely leaning that way.
A learning.
Something to learn. Exactly. This is a podcast in which two friends talk about the pleasures, absurdities, and imperfections of being human. I'm Simon Ellis.
And I'm Lee Miller. Welcome to Midlifing. What does batter look like? How's it going to behave? There is the only time I didn't trust an outcome, and this wasn't. There's a Portuguese cake called pão de ló, and it is very eggy and very light, and they grate a really kind of like similar to manchego, but it's not a similar kind of
Cheese.
Cheese, like a kind of a sharp sheep's cheese on top of it after it's been baked. It's very nice, but it's almost entirely liquid in the centre. And the first time I made one, I just thought I'd ruined it.
No, yeah.
But it's exactly how it's supposed to be.
So can you just spell that for listeners? Because the thing about Portuguese, not particularly phonetic, is it?
Oh, no, I suppose. I hadn't really thought about it.
Pão de ló. I'd be like PALDEWOL. Pão de ló.
So I'm actually saying pão de ló. So it is PAO, pão, bread.
Okay.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
D,
D,
as in of, D-E.
yeah.
And then the last word, very complicated, low. L-O.
Lol. Bread of laugh out loud. It translates to what?
No, not lol, just L-O, not L-O-L, just L-O. I'm not very good at that translation. I might have to look that up. Anyway.
Do you want a bit of... Just I thought you'd like a bit of sports news.
Yes, of course, I would love that. Nothing will give me more joy.
Because do you remember back in July that an American woman with a Russian name, Anisimova, got her
tennis
ass kicked in tennis in the Wimbledon final?
Yes.
She lost 6-love in the Wimbledon final. And she said, I recovered quite quickly from it. But the thing that she struggled with most was that the letting down the people who'd paid all that money to come and see the game. Like, that really stuck with her. Anyway, the US Open, which is a tennis tournament, it's one of the 4 what they call the majors or Grand Slam tournaments. I know you like the stuff. And she just played the same player that she lost the final to, 6-love. She played the same player. Swiatek is a Polish player, and played in the quarterfinals and beat her.
6-love.
No, it was close, but she beat her. And then she played in the final last night and lost. And she lost, not heavily, it was close, but she still feels like she let herself down. So she says, I'm getting to the point where I can get to finals, but then the nerves beat me. But interesting, there was some sort of redemption there in playing Swiatek and not being overwhelmed. But of course, it was at a quarterfinal level. But I thought you'd just like that little follow-up, a little bit of tennis follow-up for you.
I'm interested in I can get so far and then the nerves catch up with me, because I think we can all make a relationship to our lives there. I mean, I know that there have been jobs that I've really, really wanted. And I've, sailed through the selection process, and then gone in, and for whatever reason, I've choked. I remember.
So even, isn't that interesting? That choking, of course, is synonymous with tennis, but sports in general. But choking was
I remember when I applied for head of whatever it was called at the place. And so the place, London School of Contemporary Dance, or London Contemporary Dance School. Oh, wow, I can't remember what
London Contemporary Dance School, LCDS.
Okay. LCDS. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Thanks for all our listeners from the place. Big shout out to you.
Yeah, big love.
Yeah,
I applied for this would be like 6 or 7 years ago.
Easily,
it was quite a while ago. Easily, yeah. It was pre-COVID. And having left Plymouth, and that was 2019 now, so it's a long time. Gee whiz, Simon Kennedy Ellis, where do the years go?
Let's not open up that particular can of worms. Speaking as now a 57-year-old.
We have published our 250th episode.
Have we?
Yeah, it happened last Wednesday.
Really?
It was our 250th episode, because Buzzsprout sent me an email saying, congratulations on publishing your 250th episode. You must be very proud. And I thought, I'm so deep into this, I've got no clue. If you told me it was my 25th, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's probably right.
Buzzsprout. Well, it was so nice of them to remember you.
They remember me often. I haven't clicked the button that says stop sending emails.
Buzzsprout is the people that host this particular podcast. Yes. Anyway, so go on with so you choked in that last interview.
Well, what happened was, so it was a 2-stage interview,
and there were all sorts of bigwigs there. I seem to remember there were like dance bigwigs there.
Oh, Wayne McGregor was there, which was hilarious. But Wayne McGregor was actually at my first interview, and I didn't choke there at all, because I did not think I stood a cat in hell's chance of this job.
Yeah, so you were chilled about it.
Super chilled.
And we're talking about Wayne. Really, we're talking about Wayne the Rock McGregor here, aren't we?
We are. We are absolutely.
Look him up. If you don't know who the fuck we're talking about, then it doesn't matter. But just look him up. Wayne McGregor, awesome guy.
In contemporary dance scenes, he's a big deal. He's the big cheese. He's the numero uno. He's the head honcho.
Yeah.
But
he's all head.
Anyway, so he doesn't have hair. That is true. He was wearing a really nice, like, sort of 70s.
How do you call those things? Caftan.
Caftan. No,
yeah. That would have been great.
It was like a 70s trackbob top, which I quite admired.
Oh, he does. No, that's his look.
Bob was trying to. Bob was saying like. Bob was asking me the other day when something had happened, and I was like, "Hang about. Right, well."
Oh, you mean historically when something had happened?
Yeah, like something in our lives. And she was like, when had that happened? I was like, wait, hang about. I bought the tobacco Oliver Spencer trousers the spring of 2019, and I had to go through the wardrobe that I was wearing at the event in order to work out when it had happened.
Yeah, I remember seeing a war movie years ago, and they were talking about how long to the whatever it was, the encampment, and the guy said 2 cigarettes, and I used to think that, I just thought that was hilarious, that their measurement of time was cigarettes and yours is in pieces.
Yeah, mine is. When did I get that piece? Let me think. So that's from the 2018 collection, and I got that in the sale.
If I didn't love you, I think I would despise you for that kind of. It just makes me feel a little bit. Oh God.
Why?
Right?
It's only like people remembering things like where was I? Because
exactly,
for me,
exactly.
When somebody goes like, "Oh, when did that happen?" Well, that was the same year as the cup final.
It's exactly. Like the summer. The summer that Lil was born. That was when Bjorn Borg won his first Wimbledon. Anyway, come on.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so the first one was fine, no problem at all. Well
back to the
relaxed
interviews.
because I didn't expect to get the job. Yeah. The second one, at this point, I knew that it was between me and one other person.
Yeah, biatch.
So I'd gone through everybody else. I'd been shortlisted, and the thing that I choked on wasn't the conversation. It was the spreadsheet task.
I remember you saying this.
Which I was just looking at and going, this is so far out of my comfort zone and how am I supposed to know how this works? I don't know that I'd opened an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah. Also, what a weird
At
thing
that
to
point.
test, because I would just go, look, I can learn this.
Yeah.
I can just learn this. Why do you really need to know whether I can, write a formula in a spreadsheet or whatever? It's just a bizarre thing. What are you really wanting to find out here? What?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that it is a little bit odd. It did, but at the same time, I'm sure there were other reasons.
I guarantee you didn't get the job because it was because you were much more of a risk. You were definitely much more because you were outside of the field, and that was what I remember we were talking about it. That was the thing you were trying to play up, like this person, effectively an outsider in that world.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things that Bob and I...
You're a reset button.
Yeah.
So
no, you're right. It was about the kind of the hard reset that I would offer, and it's one of those things, isn't it? That to go back to the tennis player, that sense of feeling that I knew that I did the spreadsheet task, and then I went back into the room, and because of the spreadsheet task making me feel like I wasn't quite up to that particular job, that bit of the job, it just rattled me for the rest of it. I just don't think I was as confident.
So interesting. Do you in your life now? Because I think pressure. We're talking kind of about pressure, about anxiety. We're talking about pressure for sure, or situations that effectively give you flop sweats, or versions of flop sweats, degrees of flop sweats. And in your life now, what are the things, or what is the thing that makes that happen to you? Like, where you really, it stops you in your tracks from being able to kind of function and think clearly, or etc.
They tend to be interpersonal rather than structural.
In group setting or one-on-one, both?
One-on-one. I'm great at group settings. I don't really get... I a long time ago stopped being nervous in a group situation. I don't know why. Something sort of comes over me that just makes me less me and more like really avowedly present. So because it's like so I was chairing the research degrees committee on Wednesday. And you've got multiple really clever, really established people asking hard questions about policy and strategy and the things that we're doing and why we're making a decision about this and that. And it's just like, it's fine. It doesn't stress me out. It's just like, I can answer those questions because I understand why we're making decisions or why we have to do certain things. I know
So you understand the institution and how it functions and the role of that. I get that. I get that. Why wouldn't...
And if there is a challenge that comes in that space, because I'm not me, I'm the chair of the Research Degrees Committee, I'm not being me in that moment, I'm serving as I'm the representative here on Earth. Yeah.
You're performing a particular role. You're playing God in the Research Degrees Committee, etc.
I wouldn't say that. I would say I'm performing the role of handbook is what I'm doing. I become a handbook in human form. It's like, can we do this? No. If we look at this regulation, this is why not. This is why we have to make that decision in this way. So it's kind of very clear about keeping people to what is regulatorily expected and appropriate. That's quite, I feel confident there because I understand the rules. But if you put me in the same sort of conversation one-on-one, I have to really, really, really...
So it becomes you.
Yeah.
Do you practice outside of that situation? Do you kind of, I don't know, I'm going to say do like exercises or practice or training to help you get better at that? Or is it just something you kind of basically tolerate?
Yeah, it's something I have to tolerate because if I practice, it sort of triggers my autonomic nervous system where I'm living it rather than rehearsing it.
Oh, so it's like you turn up the volume on it, basically.
Yeah, I work really, really hard to not rehearse arguments anymore. I used to do it all
Oh,
the
no,
time.
what a lot of energy that is, eh?
Yeah.
Just have the
And
fucking argument.
absolutely. And I have to do the same thing with these kinds of sort of scenarios where it's like, don't plan it, because all that will happen is I will be and it won't make me more capable in the space. It will just make me more tongue-tied. It will make me less,
I think sometimes I try and go in with an idea of what it is that I would like to happen. You know, what it is that I would like to get out of it, or that I'd like a kind of outcome. It doesn't have to be me getting something out of it. I think in those kinds of circumstances, if we're talking about the same thing, I sometimes try, this would be an ideal situation here. You know, I've had some really quite tricky, and I think I have a similar, I'm going to say when I feel like I'm about to be, I'm just going to say it like this because it sounds absurd, but that's part of its truth, really, is that it's like I'm in a situation where I might be about to be told off.
It's not absurd at all.
Where I've done, as if I think I've done something wrong.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you know, seriously, I could right now want to swear because really, come on. And so...
Yeah. The other day, I was chairing a Viva. Okay, so I was chairing a Viva, being really sensible and grown up, and I was managing the anxieties of lots of people because, you know,
it's
external and internal examiners, they're trying to be the
Viva.
But
just in case people don't know, Viva is an oral exam for PhD students. It's like the final thing. They don't have them in Australia and New Zealand. So anyway, go on.
So here I am, being the chair, which is again the regulatory backstop, just making sure that everything works the way it's supposed to, so that the examiners, all they have to do is ask questions about the thesis. They don't have to go, what's allowed, what are the rules, if we decide this, what's that. That's my job. So I was being so grown up and sensible and thoughtful, and this was all being done online. So a message came up from my line manager, who I don't really often think of as my line manager. But he sent a message that just said, do you have 6.9 minutes for a conversation? Now, I should have known in the way that message came to me, 6.9 minutes, that this is not something that I need to particularly worry about.
Yeah.
In saying 6.9 minutes, it's not, have you got 5 minutes? It's, have you got a random figure, which means that, you know, this is just a chat. It's not anything complicated. It's just, you know, have you got a minute? But when you say to somebody, do you have a minute, or do you have 5 minutes, that you can hear in the request that there is a uh-oh. But if somebody puts a random figure like 6.9, do you have 7 minutes? Do you have 12 and a half minutes?
It's so interesting. That is so interesting. I think that's the most interesting thing I've ever heard you say.
I think it's an indication of how and I know he listens to this, so I apologise now that I'm going to make his little gorgeous face go red. It's an indication of how incredibly
emotionally intelligent
he is.
Absolute emotional. It's EQ stuff for sure.
Yeah, that he's communicating. This isn't a big deal, but if you've got a couple of minutes today, can we chat?
Yeah, but also just the difference between do you have a minute or do you have 6.9 minutes is that in terms of if you're a non-native English speaker or whatever the PC version of saying that is, your English is not your mother tongue. No, wait, hang on. Anyway, and then wow, amazing, great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But he would like to be my line manager. I need a different line manager.
I'll tell you what. This is a person who I think. And then I've said this to him. I've said this to anybody who will listen. I think he should be in charge of everything. Genuinely,
like the world.
I think he should be. Oh, he should be world king.
Yeah,
brilliant
what
man.
What could possibly go wrong?
I think probably there are very few people that I would be confident the world would end up a better place as a result of them being in charge. He's one of them. Sorry that you're going red as you hear this, but there you go.
Can I just finish with one little thing? Unrelated.
Of course you
can.
On
a train
Unrelated.
The other day.
Please.
On a train into London. And as a man, I thought my ticket might have been wrong. I was a little bit nervous. Maybe I did something wrong. And I was preparing my story. And he said, "Oh, your ticket's fine." I would call him the conductor. And as he turned around, his jacket, which was, one of those ones where they're like Kevlar.
Yes.
This is the guy checking tickets, has a Kevlar suit, vest and high-vis parts. And on the back it said, Revenue Protection Manager.
Wow.
And I thought, well, at least they're saying it says it on the tin kind of thing. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're protecting revenue.
Yeah.
At what point, in what meeting, did they think, oh, I've got the perfect 3-letter fucking acronym, RPM, Revenue Protection Manager?
Yeah.
Oh.
I know we keep being told that this is late stage capitalism that we're living through, but really, can it just fucking hurry up and stop?
Really?
Late stage. I mean,
it's
could
got
it just
a long
be
tail,
end stage?
It's got a long,
really
long tail.
Yeah. But man alive, it's just like
I don't think it's I think there's got a long way to go yet. I don't think it's even kicking and screaming.
Bye.
See ya.